Right. So we will start today with the concept of limiting reactant. And after we do limiting reactant, we will be going with yield calculation, limiting reactant. Okay, bear with me. Let's see, all these will keep on happening. Okay, limiting reactant. Now, whenever a reaction happens, we have got reactants. Okay, let's take a reaction like I'll say carbon reacts with oxygen to give me carbon dioxide. Right? Carbon reacts with oxygen to give me carbon dioxide. Now, let's first have an understanding. Is it clear? Coming absolutely clear to you? Okay. Carbon reacts with oxygen to give me carbon dioxide. Now, just as a common sense, this reaction happens with the atmospheric oxygen. So oxygen is in gaseous state, carbon dioxide in gaseous state. And this is the carbon that we have bought. It can be in the form of coal, charcoal, whatever it is, right? So you ask yourself a question. Is carbon, okay, limited or is oxygen limited? Oxygen is unlimited. एटमॉस्फेयर में जितना चाहो उतना ऑक्सीजन है कि नहीं? कोई शॉर्टेज नहीं है, आपको खरीदना नहीं पड़ रहा है. What is limited for us? Carbon is limited for us. Carbon is limited by the amount of carbon that you will bring. So this reaction, if we say that the reaction has started and the reaction ends, who controls the reaction? Carbon controls the reaction. Have you understood this concept? No matter if you say, suppose you have to make one bowl of biryani, you need 1 tablespoon of essence. Okay, essence. You have every ingredient in your house, but you have got only 1 tablespoon of essence. आप कितना बिरयानी बना पाओगे? सिर्फ एक बाउल, उससे ज्यादा हम नहीं बना पाएंगे. Very nice to see. It's such a positive नाश्मिता, एकदम क्लियर हो, मतलब सही में it's a positive feel. अलग ही मजा आता है ऐसे. So आपको ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आया? आपके पास if you are a chef in the kitchen, the ingredient which is limited to you, that will control how much of the finished dish you can make. Have you understood? So this is the concept of limiting reactant. So limiting reactant को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Limiting reactant, limiting reactant को हम लिखते हैं the reactant. This is the reactant which is less in quantity. I'm trying all styluses, huh? Less in quantity. So pardon me with my handwriting also today. Which is less in quantity. Whenever a reaction is given to you, you try to first see that which is the reactant which is less in quantity. That reactant is going to control my what? Reaction. Now, the first thing that you will get misled in this whole thing is, don't go by what mass is given to you. Please understand. Mass se mat jaiye. Mass is misleading. What I'm trying to say, let me take the reaction once again. Carbon reacts with oxygen. Okay, sorry. Carbon reacts with oxygen and gives me what, beta? Carbon dioxide. Do you agree or not? This reaction in chemistry has nothing to do with mass. Actually, reaction कैसा है? 1 mole carbon reacts with 1 mole oxygen gas to give you 1 mole CO2. समझ में आया? When you are measuring the limiting reactant, you will measure it in terms of mole. अगर मैं आपको बोलूं, I am giving you 28 grams carbon, so many grams oxygen, उससे कुछ मतलब नहीं. Convert every reactant to mole, and then you see which reactant is less in terms of moles. That reactant is the limiting reactant. So limiting reactant will also be determined in terms of number of moles. End of the day, acha, is it something great that I'm teaching you? No. Just imagine this reaction is controlled in the language of moles. We control it in the language of, we don't say so many grams, so many grams. We say 1 mole reacts. समझ में आया? Now say suppose I made the environment such, and Dhruv is performing this experiment. I made the environment such that Dhruv is having only 0.5 mole of oxygen. Suppose you have only 0.5 mole of oxygen. Now who will be the limiting reactant? Oxygen is the limiting reactant. And he brought so much of carbon, bag bhar ke carbon laya. He has brought, say for example, 4 moles of carbon leke aaya ho. He has brought 4 moles of carbon. Will you be able to burn all? You will be able to burn how much? Only 0.5 mole. because this is the limiting reactant. And now is limiting reactant a little bit clear to you? Whenever we look at a reaction, we look at the reactants. Are the reactants available as much as we want? Then to no tension, but that will never be the scenario. Some reactant will be less in quantity, but the quantity is not to be, don't get misled by looking at grams. Convert everything to mole and then see who is less in terms of mole by the parent equation. Ek problem kare abhi. Are we ready? We'll do one. Nidhi, did you understand this thing, Bitu? Okay, end of the day, convert everything to moles and then you compare with the parent equation and see who is less in moles. So let's go for a problem. Okay, let me go for a problem now and then it will become much more clearer. Okay, right. So I have got 6 grams of cobalt 2 carbonate. Okay, cobalt 2 carbonate. So I have got 6 grams cobalt 2 carbonate. The 2 means carbonate as an ion is always in. Carbonate is what? You should remember, carbonate is CO3 2 minus. That means when cobalt is combining with carbonate, its oxidation state should be +2. So 6 grams of cobalt 2 carbonate is reacted with 0.8 mole of hydrochloric acid. This is being reacted with 0.8 mole hydrochloric acid. Reacted with 0.8 mole hydrochloric acid. And a reaction kaisa hoga? Cobalt carbonate with hydrochloric acid. So if they will displace the hydrogen from here, cobalt chloride will be formed. ठीक है? तो reaction में क्या आ जाएगा? Cobalt chloride will be formed. Cobalt chloride. This is what is given in the question. Cobalt chloride to produce cobalt 2 chloride. Okay, cobalt 2 chloride. But will it be only this much? नहीं, कुछ और भी बनेगा. Let's see. Acid is reacting with metal salt, so it will displace. So let's first write down the reaction of it. Let's write down the reaction. Cobalt carbonate, CO is cobalt, CO3, cobalt carbonate reacts with क्या है? Hydrochloric acid. Cobalt carbonate क्या है? Salt है बेटा, ये aqueous होता है. Hydrochloric acid salt है, aqueous बनेगा. आपको क्या फॉर्म क्या है? Cobalt chloride, COCl2. और क्या बनेगा? COCl2 and you will get H2O will be formed and CO2 will also be formed. Metal carbonates react with acid to give you carbon dioxide and water. Always remember this. Metal carbonates react with acids to give you carbon dioxide and water. And how will you test? Lime water turns milky test you can do out here. ठीक है? इसको balance करो पहले. Is it balanced? One cobalt is not balanced. So we put 2 out here, 2 hydrogen, 2 Cl2, O2 is 2 and O2 is 3. Right now it's balanced. COCl2. COCl2 is again what beta? Aqueous. H2O is liquid. CO2 is gas. Now let's put all our data. 6 gram of cobalt carbonate. 6 gram means try to convert this into moles. Okay. So before converting into moles, let's look at the parent reaction. What is the parent? What does the parent reaction tell me? है ना? Parent reaction बोले तो कैसा रहेगा? आ जाओ. Parent reaction is 1 mole COCO3 reacts with 2 mole HCl. Always remember this. 2 moles HCl to give you 1 mole of this, 1 mole of this, and 1 mole of this. We are not bothered about the product side. Our question is show that this was excess. We have to show. Our question is that show that this was in excess. Acha bolo. If this was excess, who was the limiting reactant? Look at the question and say hydrochloric acid should be the limiting reactant. Yes or no? Right? So let's check whether hydrochloric acid. Now they have already told me that you are reacting with how much? You are reacting with 0.8 moles of hydrochloric acid. Tell me then, how much of this should be there? Very good. This should be 0.4. How many of you understood this? Kirtan, did you understand? If hydrochloric acid is 0.8, then COCO3. See, this is twice of this.
Yes.
So you should always have 0.4 mole. Now we are supposed to check whether we had 0.4 moles or not. If we are having more than 0.4 moles, then we are having excess. End of the day, this please try to understand, children, this reaction cannot proceed for more than 0.4 mole of COCO3. Did you understand that? आपके पास इतना ही HCl है. This much HCl can react with only this much. Question says that prove that this was excess. प्रूफ करें अभी. एक्सेस करने के लिए इसका मोल्स में कन्वर्ट करके देखो, इसका मोलार मास कितना है. व्हाट वाज द फॉर्मूला फॉर नंबर ऑफ मोल्स? यस, वेरी गुड, पढ़ के आए हो. सो नंबर ऑफ मोल्स, number of moles is given by given mass over molar mass or molecular mass. So given mass is there with you. Find out the molecular mass. How will you find out? Check your what you call check your book and tell me what is for cobalt का data कितना है. Cobalt is 59. Cobalt is 59. Carbon is 12. And how many oxygen? 16 threes are 48 oxygen. चलो कितना होता है? 119. So it will be 6 divided by how many grams? 6 grams divided by 119. How many moles? 0. Something garbage? 0.05. What is the question? They are asking us, show that cobalt carbonate was in excess. 119, 6 grams divided by 0.05. Yeah. Show that cobalt carbonate, how much of HCl? Oh, 0.8 nahi beta, mere se mistake hua hai. That's what I was thinking. The question cannot be wrong. Just 1 minute, huh? This is not 0.8, it's 0.08. So this is 0.08. Right? So shall I now write what did we get in our data? How much of this one did you get? 0.5. हाँ, 0.05. एक मिनट, हाँ, इसको मिटा लेते हैं. So you got 0.05 moles, right? And here you have how much? 0.08. But still they are saying it is excess. Somewhere we have gone wrong. No, not like that. 1 minute, huh? ये भी mistake है. Hang on. So this should be 0.08 moles. Let me check the question. It says 0.0 mole. What is the question? Show that cobalt 2 carbonate was in excess. So yeah, show that this is excess. So in order for this much of cobalt carbonate to react, yeah, this one irritates me now. One. No, not move button. It sensing senses so much. Okay. Now, in order for 0.05 will require how much of oxygen or how much of HCl? 2 times of. So this is 0.1. No, something is wrong in this question. 1 minute. One mole cobalt carbonate reacts with 2 moles of hydrochloric acid, which is very fine. 0.5 will react with 0.1 of hydrochloric acid, but you have got how much? You have got only 0.08, therefore cobalt is excess. हाँ correct है. नहीं थोड़ा सा क्या है ना, बोर्ड भी डिस्टर्ब करता है, दिमाग भी आउट हो जाता है उसमें. How many of you understood? I'll explain it once again, don't worry. So 0.08. Okay, just look at the board once. Let's go through this problem once again. And I'm sorry, this is my mistake, children. We are given 6 grams of cobalt carbonate that reacted with 0.08 mole of HCl, and we have to prove that cobalt carbonate is excess for us. How to prove it? We first wrote the reaction. Cobalt carbonate reacts with hydrochloric acid to give me whatever. Product side se hame itna kuch lena dena nahi hai, but still we have written the entire product side. Right. Now after that you balance the equation. After balancing the equation you find that 2 moles of HCl react with 1 mole of COCO3. Is this much clear or not? That means in our question the moles of HCl we are given is 0.08. So 0.08 will react with how much? 0.04. Again, this is also wrong. 1 minute. This is 0.04. This is 0.04. Just half of this. 0.08 will react with 0.04. But when you calculated the amount of cobalt chloride that you bought, 6 gram, you found that this cobalt chloride is 0.05. So आपका इतना ही react करेगा, लेकिन आपके पास इतना है, so you are excess by how much? 0.01 mole. This one will be left unreacted. Have you understood? If you have not understood, don't hesitate, children. Even I am not satisfied with the way I thought this problem. If you have not understood, let me know. I'll explain once again. Do you want it to be explained once again? Anyone? Ashmita, are you clear? नहीं तो बोलो बेटा, उसमें कोई खराबी नहीं है. Did you understand? Nidhi, did you understand? Else I can explain one. Kirtan, did you understand?
Yes, sir.
So what if I tell you that if we now try to do another problem, we'll do another problem. So before that, let's write down the steps that we understood from here. Step number 1, that you should always have the balanced equation. Obtain the balance equation. Once you have obtained the balance equation, after that you should have the mole clarity. Mole clarity. Then whichever is your given mass, whatever given mass is given, you convert that into number of moles, typically for the reactant. These 3 steps are required, and that will make your picture absolutely clear how to solve this problem. Shall we try one more? Okay, let's try one more. Chaliye. Let's take the question. It says 4 grams of magnesium is reacted with a hydrochloric acid. Look at the reaction first. Magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid. What type of reaction? Metal reacts with acid to form metal salt and releases hydrogen gas. ठीक है, तो पहले हम इसके इक्वेशन को लिख लेते हैं. आ जाइए, इसके इक्वेशन को लिखते हैं. Magnesium as solid reacts with hydrochloric acid, aqueous. This will give me what? Magnesium chloride, MgCl2, because this is in group 2, aqueous, and it will release hydrogen gas. Our next step was beta to balance this equation. So let's balance this equation. इसको balance करते हैं. Hydrochloric acid H2 आया है, तो यहाँ पे 2 डाल दो. अब balance हो गया, देखो तो पूरा balance हो गया. Balanced. Magnesium is balanced. So let us now arrive at our mole reaction. 1 mole of magnesium reacts with 2 moles of HCl to give you 1 mole of this product and 1 mole of this product. So mole clarity is there. Now we go to the question. The question says that 4 grams of magnesium. How many grams of magnesium, bacha? 4 grams of magnesium. So let me write here. Magnesium is 4 grams. Okay. 4 grams of magnesium is reacted with hydrochloric acid that contains 5.48 grams of acid. So that contains 5.48 means actually this acid is dilute, it's in water, so the acid content is 5.48 grams. They have given you the reaction also, and now they are asking me who is the limiting reactant. So children, the first thing is don't get bogged down by the mass. Game is not on mass, game is on moles. ठीक है, तो इसका नंबर ऑफ मोल्स निकालते हैं. इसका मोल्स कितना आएगा? Moles for magnesium. Moles. How many moles of magnesium? Given mass over molecular mass. इसका atomic mass आ जाएगा. Magnesium का कितना है? 24. कितना आया? 1/6. Which is equal to how much? 0.16 mole. ठीक है? And how do you go by this reaction? Whatever is HCl present with you, you need twice the quantity of HCl, or you need half the quantity of magnesium. तो HCl के लिए करते हैं, आ जाओ. HCl is how much? Let's find the moles for HCl. So this is how much? 5.48 divided by, go for HCl, hydrogen 1, chlorine 37.5. How much have they given? Oh, chlorine they have given 35.5 and hydrogen 1. So this is 36.5. Calculate, how much is it? 5.48 divided by 36.5. कितना आया? 5.48 divided by 36.5. 0.15 mole. 0.15 mole. अब देखो, if magnesium is 0.16, look at magnesium.
How is the molar mass 6.5?
HCl. HCl.
Yeah, so stability like 2 hydrogen.
No. Its molar mass is never, doesn't depend on this. Molar mass of a compound is a fixed quantity. HCl. Just the molecule को calculate. हाँ, just the molecule calculate करो. Molar mass is always fixed. ऐसा होने से the question that you are asking for different equations, you will have different molar mass for HCl. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Did you get it? 36.5 means 35.5 from chlorine and 1 from hydrogen. Right? Now we have got the moles for both the reactant. देख बेटा, ये 0.15 है, ये 0.16 है. अभी आप common sense लगाओ. If magnesium is 0.16 ध्रुव, it needs how much of HCl? 0.32 चाहिए. And if this is 0.15, it can react how much? 0.75 only 0.75. So who is less today? HCl is less. Did you understand? HCl is less. How much of HCl do I have? I have got 0.15 of HCl. 0.15 of HCl will react how much of magnesium? 0.75 of magnesium. So magnesium goes unreacted. Or else you look it from magnesium side, beta. You have 0.16 magnesium. 0.1 mole needs 2 moles. Okay, इधर देखो. 1 mole needs 2 mole of what? HCl. आपके पास कितना है अभी? आपके पास 0.16 मोल है, तो आपको कितना HCl चाहिए? 0.32 moles HCl चाहिए ना, सिंपल सा बात. But how much are you having? Only 0.15. So this is the limiting reactant. It will control. Can you now tell me how much of magnesium will go unreacted? How much of magnesium will go unreacted? Unreacted magnesium would be, so the equation is very simple. If this is 0.15, it will react how much? 0.15 divided by 2. And how much of original amount you have? 0.16. So 0.16 minus 0.15. This is your unreacted. Clear हुआ? कभी कभी आपको ये भी, okay, no issues. How much of magnesium, how much of HCl you have? 0.15.
0.15.
How much can you react 0.15 by 2?
Yeah, yes, sir.
You started with 0.16. मेरे पास 10 रुपए है, इसका हाफ ही रिएक्ट करेगा. ये 15 रुपीज है तो ये कितना है? 7.5 रिएक्ट करेगा. So how much money was unreacted with me? 10 rupees minus 7.5, which is 3 rupees.
Okay, sir,
Three-
yes.
2.5 rupees, whatever it is. Are we fine? Clear or not? पहले देखो. Okay. Before proceeding ahead, ask yourself some questions. Number one, by now, can you calculate moles of a substance? Ask yourself a question, and if you think that no, I'm ready to explain. Can you calculate moles of a substance? Any substance. How do you calculate moles of a substance? Given mass over molecular mass or molar mass. Do not use any of the coefficients at that time. And how will you get the molecular mass? The periodic table or the question will have it. Can I put a tick mark that you know how to calculate moles? Okay. Number two, a balanced chemical reaction may be given to you or may not be given to you. Usually दे देता है. Balanced reaction. Do you know how to read this reaction? How to read? Always in terms of moles. Do you know how to read a balanced chemical equation in terms of moles? And that is your recipe for making the product. Just like when you make a product, bake a dish or make any dish, it's written what? 100 grams of this contains blah, 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 blah. So the same thing is this, how to read. You should always know how to read. If you have known how to read, do you understand now what is limiting reactant?
Yeah.
Limiting reactant is the one which is always not in excess, which is less, not in excess. So it will control the reaction. Reaction will go ahead till the limiting reactant. Just like they say, a chain is as strong as the weakest link. So this is the weakest link. ये जितना जोर है उतना ही आपकी चेन की ताकत है. जैसे ये टूट जाएगा, चेन टूट जाएगा. ठीक है? And in some questions, if they try to puzzle it further by asking you unreacted quantity, ask yourself a question. I'm putting ticks out here. Can you calculate unreacted quantity?
Yeah.
In unreacted quantity, we have to just match. One idli needs 1 cup of batter. I have 1.5 cup of batter. How much is unused batter? Half cup of batter is unused. How did you find it? 1 idli, 1 cup. Sir, you are having 1.5. That means we will take away 1 cup for the idli and half cup will be excess with you. Clear, bachcha? Samajh mein aaya? So is limiting reactant as a story clear? Now, can I wipe it off? Okay, limiting reactant clear हो गया. चलिए, अब limiting reactant से आगे बढ़ते हैं and we go into questions which are on the where we had stopped. Percentage yield and percentage purity. Percentage yield and percentage purity. So we had started our discussion the other day with this concept called yield. Writing goes for a toss in this one. Yield. Yield means the useful content. Useful content, as simple as that. But in our question, the yield will be always given in percentage. Yield percentage. Yield will be given in terms of percentage. It will be given in terms of percentage to us. Yield percent. So what is the yield percent? and yield percent tells you nothing but how much output you are going to get over an input, है ना. yield percent आपको देता है output over input into 100%, as simple as that. And this output is basically the useful content that you are trying to get, right? Let's say we have a can of deo spray, deodorant. What is the common myth? ये सब गैस भरा हुआ है, उसमें परफ्यूम आता ही नहीं है, फुस करके आता है. And I tell you that if you are going for a cheaper brand, you will have a yield percentage of only 75%. That means if the deo can is having 100 ml का deo can लाए हो तो सिर्फ 75 ml deo ही आपको मिलने वाला है. That is the useful content out here. Understood? So if I tell you that C plus O2 gives me CO2, now this is a theoretical equation, thinking that all the carbon that I brought was the best and the fresh and the 100% pure carbon, 100% pure oxygen, so I am getting pure product out. लेकिन हमारा कार्बन जो रहेगा वो 100% प्योर थोड़ी रहेगा, नहीं रहता है. All types of coal, you know, coals are of different grades, so carbon is also of different grade. So the type of coal that I am burning in this reaction, and suppose I am interested in CO2, so the manufacturer told me, sir, this coal has got a yield of only 60%. समझ में आया? So chemistry will tell me if you burn 1 mole, you should get 1 mole. This is in theory, but I used a very low category coal. So how much will I expect? 0.6 mole. Is the logic understood? 60% means what? 60% of 1 mole, so 0.6 mole. 50% होने से half mole मिलता मुझे. क्या ये logic clear हुआ आपको? Who has not understood this? If you have not understood, no issues. I'm fine. I just need some time to get acclimatized on the board, so don't mind on me. Okay. So have you understood this? Anything will have a yield, and based on this yield, there will be reactions. चलें, अब इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम करने की कोशिश करते हैं. आइए. Let's take a question on yield. These are the most easiest question that you can get. And there is no point in memorizing something. You can get yield or percentage purity. So let's go by percentage yield first. Okay. Copper 2 carbonate. So we have copper 2 carbonate, CuCO3, copper 2 carbonate. How much of it? 12.4 grams. 12.4 grams of copper 2 carbonate in a crucible produced copper oxide, means you are heating it. We are trying to heat it. So we got copper oxide. So definitely the other gas would be, this is where we had stopped the other day, carbon dioxide, and this is solid, right? It's giving me how much? 7 gram of copper oxide, 7.0 grams of copper oxide. They're asking me how much of yield. They're asking me find the percentage yield. Percentage yield of what? Copper oxide. They're asking me what is the percentage yield of copper oxide. So first of all, as I tell you, always let's go by the basic molar mole count of the equation. पहले देखो equation balanced है कि नहीं? Cu, C, oxygen. Yes, it's balanced. 1 mole should give always how much? 1 mole and 1 mole. This is ideal. समझ में आया? अच्छा, अभी आपने कितना बर्न किया बेटा? आपने बर्न किया है 12.4 grams of copper carbonate. Convert this into moles. Given mass over copper का कितना है? 64 plus carbon is 12 plus oxygen is 16,348. Tell me how much is it?
124.
How much is it? 124 and 12.4. So 0.1. All of you got 0.1 mole? Just check. I'll wait for you. Have you got 0.1 mole? Nidhi has got. Ashmita has also got. 0.1 है क्या? 124 produced 7 gram of carbon dioxide. Right? How much did you get on this side? How many moles? 7. 7 divided by how much? 80. 64 plus 16. How much is it? 0.0875. 087. चलो इतना ले लिया. 0.087. लफड़ा दिख रहा है तुम्हें अभी? If you had used 0.1 mole, you should have got 0.1 mole. Book has done it in grams. We will do here. 0.1 mole should give me 0.1 mole. Have you got 0.1 mole? No. How much did you get? You got only 0.087. So if you want to find out the yield now, yield निकालने के लिए क्या निकालेंगे? Output. Output कितना है आपका? 0.087. And how much was the input? 0.1. ऐसा करोगे तो भी right answer आएगा. देखो. Now just check what is the percentage you are getting. तो देखने से ही लग रहा है 87. We are getting an yield of 87%. Children, first absorb the question. If this was exactly theoretical, you should have got 100% yield. 1 मोल जलाया तो 1 मोल आना चाहिए, है ना? This is theory. हमने कितना जलाया? 0.1 मोल. हमें कितना मिलना चाहिए था? 0.1 मोल. But we got less. Total marks? Marks scored. Did you score the full marks? No. So what is your percentage score? Marks scored over total marks. अब इसको उल्टा वे में भी कर सकते हैं. How much did you take? 12.4. Okay, let's go with the normal reaction. Let's go with the normal reaction. Reaction में चलते हैं. वैसे वो थोड़ा लंबा होगा, but still we'll see that also. 1 mole of copper carbonate should be how much? 124 grams. Agreed or not? 124 grams should give you how much? 80 grams. Agreed? Itna clear hai? This is the empirical formula that we have. But in our case, how much did you bring? 12.4. 10 से divide किया. तो हमें कॉपर ऑक्साइड कितना मिलना चाहिए था? 8 मिलना चाहिए था. हमें कितना मिला? 7. So if you do this there, so how much did you score? You got 7. You should have got how much? 8. What was the full marks? 12.4 into 100. ये जरा करके देख तो. हाँ? क्या गड़बड़ी हुआ यहाँ पे? ये हिसाब में बोलो. 12.4 should give me how much? That's why मास से प्रॉब्लम नहीं करना चाहिए. मास से करने से आप फंसोगे. अगर आप मास से करते तो यहाँ पे how much is it? 12.4 grams. 12.4 grams should give me how much? 80 grams. 80 grams. 8 grams, sorry. How much less did you get? 1 gram less you got. So 7 divided by 8 into 100% should be the calculation. The calculation should not be this. मास से आप कैलकुलेट करोगे तो मास से ऐसा कैलकुलेट होना चाहिए. How will you calculate? Full marks for copper was how much? Full marks for copper was 8. I should have got 8 grams. I should have got 8 grams. I got 7 grams multiplied by 100. अब जरा देखो तो. 87.5. But I would always say, do the reaction problem always in terms of mole. Always in terms of mole. It is always easy to understand. Have you understood by mole? Huh?
What happens to the carbon dioxide?
What happens to the car? हाँ, some to that, but in that experiment that data is not given. उड़ गया है. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड वी कैन मेजर. सी ध्रुव, रियल लाइफ में ये क्या है? ये सॉलिड है. इसको आप हीट कर रहे हो. हीट करते करते फिर मेजर करो. So the new measurement will tell you how much of copper oxide is left. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड तो उड़ गया है ऊपर. आप प्राप्त थोड़ी कर सकते हैं. How many of you understood this problem? Should you want one more round of explanation? अश्मिता, एक बार और हो जाए.
In terms of mass. Again, I got it in terms of mole.
You got in terms of mole. Okay, let's go in terms of mass. Let's go in terms of mass. Do you understand this? That 124 grams should give you 80 grams. You didn't understand. That's why I go by mole again. One mole gives 1 mole. What is 1 mole copper carbonate in terms of mass? 124. नीचे वाला.
Okay, 124.
Don't go because I said 124. 8 mole. What is 1 mole of copper carbonate? 1 mole of copper carbonate is this much, na?
Okay, yeah.
हाँ, तो 124. स्टैंडर्ड इक्वेशन लिख रहे हैं, ठीक है. 1 मोल बोले तो 124 should give you 1 mole of copper oxide. What is 1 mole of copper oxide? 80 grams. समझ में आया बच्चा?
Yes.
In your reaction you are having 12.4 means 1/10 लिया है आपने.
Yes.
1/10 should give 1/10 on this side.
1/10.
So the reaction now says to me 12.4 grams should give me 8 grams. मिलना चाहिए ना? पर आपको आपका मन तो दुखी हो गया. क्यों दुखी हुआ? आपको मिला 7 grams मिला. This was the full marks in the exam, but you scored only 7.
Yes.
So 7. Had you got 8 grams out here, your yield would have been 100%.
100%.
लेकिन आपको 8 नहीं मिला ना, आपको 7 मिला, short मिला. Now is it clear?
Yes.
But I would still say go by moles. Since you all have calculator, you are, see, in an entrance exam I will go by this. It is faster when calculator is not there. पर आपके पास calculator है ना, you go by calculator.
Okay.
एक और करें, ठीक है? आइए एक और करते हैं. Can I erase it or do you want to note down anything? ठीक है? Okay, चलो अगला क्वेश्चन करते हैं. A student reacts, now this you try, 4.5 gram of aluminum powder with chlorine gas, okay? And the reaction is given to me. I'll first write the reaction. Let me first write the reaction. I have got aluminum solid reacts with 3Cl2. This is gas, and it gives me 2AlCl3. AlCl3, aluminum chloride, which is also solid. Okay, ये reaction है, and this is 2Al. First absorb the reaction. After that we'll do the problem. What is the reaction? 2 moles need 3 moles. Give you 2 moles. Okay, this is the yield question. So you see like this. 2 लगाएंगे तो 2 मिलेगा. 3 लगाएंगे तो 2 मिलेगा. In whichever terms they ask you. They may ask you in terms of this or they may ask you in terms of this. ठीक है? Now let's go by the data. The student had 4.5 grams of 4.5 grams of aluminum, okay, and powder was reacted with chlorine gas and 17.8 gram was produced. 17.8 grams were produced. Can we have a quick conversion into moles? they are asking us calculate the percentage yield. Let's have a quick calculation of moles. How much of moles of aluminum did we have? Look at the data for aluminum. 4.5 divided by aluminum का कितना है? 13 ग्रुप 13 में होता है. एल्यूमिनियम चेक करो. 27. हाँ, so 27. Tell me how much moles of aluminum did you have? 0.16. So ideally I should also get how much? Ideally I should get 0.16 of AlCl3. Yes or no? If 2 moles give 2 mole, 0. But how much did I get? Do this calculation. 17.8 divided by aluminum कितना है तुम्हारा? 27. And chlorine is 35.5 into 3. बताओ ये कितना आया? Check.
0.13.
0.13 moles. Madam Ashmita, do you see the difference now? Quality of aluminum is not good. 0.16 should ideally give 0.16. But you have got lesser. This is your marks code and this is the total marks. अब आप yield निकाल लीजिए. Yield percentage कितना आएगा बेटा? 0.13 divided by 0.16 into 100%. देखो कितना आया आपका. कितना आया? 81.25%. Did all of you get 81?
Yes.
No need to go by mass. You can straight away go by moles. Your answer will come correct. इसमें हर problem करो. And sometimes they may ask you question as purity. Okay, what is the purity? अच्छा, now if somebody tells you calculate the purity of aluminum. Purity मतलब समझ रहे हैं बेटा? आप एक earring लेके गए, आपको पूछा how much pure is the gold? You measure the earring and you find that the earring is 10 grams earring. अगर gold 100% pure है तो gold कितना होना चाहिए? 10 grams. लेकिन आपको मिला 6 grams gold उसमें. So the purity of gold is only 60%. तो इस yield की जगह पे we can also understand it as purity. How much is what is the purity of this aluminum? The purity of this aluminum is how much? 81.25. Ashmita, ये समझ में आया? एक ही बात है.
Yes, sir.
Purity. इतना pure है. Now tomorrow if Nidhi brings a sample where we find the yield as 90%, will we say that her sample is more pure? Yes, it's more pure. Is it the purest? Maybe not. But better than your sample. ठीक है ना? समझ में आया? चलिए. This brings us to the next section, which is mass percentage, composition of mass, percentage composition, mass percentage. Okay, ये सब एकदम easy चीज है. Percentage mass. Percentage mass. Now, whenever we talk about percentage mass, you will ask me, sir, किसका mass निकाल रहे हैं? So I would tell you that, you know, I've got one glass of tang. So what all things are there? Water and tang. कितना tang रहा होगा? 2 चम्मच 3 चम्मच tang रहा होगा. So it has some mass. The entire solution that the glass is, that also has some mass. So percentage mass means we want to find out how much percentage of tang is present in that. सो परसेंटेज मास का अगर हम फॉर्मूला देखें तो इट विल बी मास styluses are not good. This will be mass of the substance. Substance means what you are interested in, bacha. Mass of the substance means what you are interested in divided by total mass of the sample, जिस चीज में आप ढूंढ रहे हो उसको, into 100%. Obviously make sure that this should also be, both should be in same units. Okay, a very easy example for this. Our friend Ashmita went to market and she brought 2 kg potato. ठीक है? She brought 2 kg onion. She brought 1 kg tomato. And she brought, say, half kg capsicum. And she also brought half kg, say, what is it, bell pepper. ठीक है, इतना कुछ खरीद के लाई. इसका बैग कितना भारी हो गया जरा मुझे बोलो तो. व्हाट इज द नेट मास ऑफ अवर बैग? 2 + 2 4 + 1 5 and 6 kg. So overall our girl is carrying 6 kg. Now ये बच्चा कॉन्सेप्ट है. I want to ask you, what is the percentage mass of potato? 6 किलो के बैग में 2 किलो पोटेटो कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है. So 2 divided by 6. अच्छा, what is the percentage mass of capsicum? 1/2 divided by this. ये समझ में आया? अगर इसी चीज को अभी देखो केमिस्ट्री में कन्वर्ट कर देते हैं. I am giving you an acid and the name of the acid is H2SO4. Children, do you understand what is this? Sulfuric acid. H2SO4 means sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid, if you try to bring 1 mole of sulfuric acid in a bag, what will be the total weight? I think 98. Check करो तो. Hydrogen is 2, sulfur is 32, oxygen is 64. 16 4 are 64. Oxygen के नीचे सल्फर है, देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. 64. 64 plus 32 plus 64 plus 36 is 100. This is 64 plus 34. So 98. So our friend Ashmita brought sulfuric acid bag में लाया 1 मोल. कितना है? 98 grams. अभी किसी ने पूछा कि इस सैंपल में परसेंटेज सल्फर कितना है. So how much is sulfur contributing in this 98? 32. Sulfur is the bangan into 100%. Did you understand? How much is hydrogen contributing? 2. How much is oxygen contributing? 64. Are we fine? अगर अंडरस्टैंडिंग सही है तो प्रॉब्लम उठाएं एक. अश्मिता क्लियर हुआ ये पोटैटो अनियन वाला? चलो एक प्रॉब्लम उठाएं इसके ऊपर. इजी है. से you should not think that these are some hard topics. चलो, percentage composition. So they have given a salt whose name is ammonium nitrate. Ammonium nitrate, NH4, and NH4 is the only non-metallic cation. NH4 हमेशा प्लस होता है, तो नाइट्रेट क्या होता है? NO3 minus. So the product is NH4NO3. Our product is what, beta? Our product is NH4NO3. This is known as ammonium nitrate. पूछा है कि ammonium nitrate में the formula is this, and what is the percentage mass of nitrogen out here? इसमें नाइट्रोजन कितना है? Percentage mass. Can you find out? So let's first calculate ammonium nitrate bag कितना heavy है. पहले तो वो चाहिए. How heavy is the ammonium nitrate bag? Nitrogen is how much beta? 14. 14, 14, 28. So 14 plus 4 plus 14 plus 48. कितना हुआ? भाई साहब? 80. Sure. 14 14 28 28 48 28 48 58 68 68 80 80 ठीक है 80 और उसमें नाइट्रोजन कितना कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है 28 इंटू 100%। निकालो नाइट्रोजन का मास परसेंटेज। A very easy problems. How much did you get? 35%. The next compound they have given us is ammonium sulfate. अच्छा आओ ammonium sulfate का formula लिखते हैं। Ammonium as a ion is always what? NH4 plus. Sulfate is what beta? SO4 2 minus. Sulfate is always SO4 2 minus. So how will be our compound? Our compound will be NH4 2 SO4. ये समझ में आया? Why ammonium sulfate is NH4 2? देखते नहीं हो तुम लोग, लिखने में बिजी रहते हो। NH4 2 SO4. This is our ammonium sulfate. Can you find out what is the percentage by mass nitrogen out here? इसमें कितना है परसेंटेज मास? सबसे पहले find out what is the, how heavy is your bag? How heavy is the bag? 14 plus hydrogen is 4. This whole thing is multiplied by 2 plus sulfur. Sulfur is 32 and 16 4 64. बताओ कितना हुआ? This is 18. 18 plus 2 is 36. 36 plus 32 plus 64 कितना आता है? 132. This is 132. नाइट्रोजन कितना कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है? 14 नहीं, ट्वाइस ऑफ नाइट्रोजन है, यही गलती कर देते। 28. So into 100. Kirtan, understood? And last one more type we'll do, so that next class we can do for gases. Water crystals देख लेते हैं एक बार. Water crystals. Come. Have you understood this? Okay, चलो इसको मिटाते हैं. Now water crystals. Water crystals means we are talking about hydrated salts. So some of the hydrated salts, let us see. For example, we have sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. Na2CO3 always has 10 molecules of water attached to it. Okay? Then we see hydrated magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate has got 7 molecules. MgSO4.7H2O. In this question, they are trying to ask us that what is the percentage mass of water crystal. So first we should understand what is water crystal. Water crystal is this portion. This portion is water crystal. आपको अभी अश्मिता क्या पूछा समझ में आ रहा है? एक सब्जी नहीं पूछ रहा है, 3-4 सब्जी कंबाइन करके पूछ रहा है, इसका परसेंटेज मास क्या है? वेरी इजी. So let us first try to find out what is the percentage. इसको पहले कैलकुलेट करते हैं. Let's go for मैग्नीशियम सल्फेट पहले करते हैं. आ जाओ. मैग्नीशियम सल्फेट बोलो, मैग्नीशियम कितना है? मैग्नीशियम is 24. Sulfur is 32. Very good. Oxygen is 64. Oxygen is 64. कितना हुआ? Then 7H2O इसके साथ प्लस होगा. 7 times of water. Water is always 18. याद रखो, क्योंकि 16 plus 2 आता है 7 times of this. बोलो ये कितना हुआ? 24 plus 32 plus 64 plus 7 times of 18. 246. इसमें अपना अभी अश्मिता समझ में आया? इसमें भी दिखना है हरी मिर्ची और कोतमीर कितना है? कितना? 7H2O. 7H2O means 7 times of 18 into 100%. भाई साहब निकालिए कितना आया। 51.2%। फटाफट जरा इसमें निकाल ले। मैग्नीशियम सल्फेट हो गया, सोडियम कार्बोनेट निकाल लेते हैं। चलो सोडियम कार्बोनेट विल बी व्हाट, लास्ट में 10 टाइम्स ऑफ 18, और बाकी सोडियम कितना है, सोडियम इज 23, 23 मल्टीप्लाइड बाई 2, 23 मल्टीप्लाइड बाई 2 प्लस कार्बन इज 12 प्लस ऑक्सीजन इज 16 3 जा 48। बताओ कितना हुआ। हाँ ज्यादा होगा, 180 इधर हो गया, 286 एंड ऑन टॉप कितना है 10 टाइम्स ऑफ H2O, दैट इज 180 into 100%। टेल मी हाउ मच। अश्मिता ये 180 समझ में आया ना, 10 टाइम्स ऑफ H2O।
हाँ, yes sir,
हाँ। 62.9% ले आ गया। तो अगर somebody tells me that 1 mole of sodium carbonate, 1 mole of magnesium sulfate, which has more of water crystals with it, this one has more of water crystals। Obviously 10 है, ये 7 है, each mole contains 7 mole, each mole contains 10 moles। Clear? In our next class we will then go, अभी इसमें कुछ questions है, देखो बेटा, there are questions 4, 5 and 6, जरा इनको कर लो ना घर में, then we can go for calculations for gases। 4, 5 and 6 खुद से कर लो, 4, 5 and 6, then we can close। Hey, what happened, Kirtan? Nowadays drums are not being played. You are just by chalu mal. He doesn't come to my house, see? How can it be earlier? He used to come exactly at 7:55। बोलो अश्मिता, comfortable थे आज, समझ में आया?
Yes sir।
My apologies, I am also struggling with the board, new everything।
It was fine sir।
Okay, because the writing doesn't come so quickly as it was in the yellow board। ठीक है, चल बच्चा, I'll upload this and share the link with you all। Okay।